Come on. It's hot too. I've gone ahead and made a little work table out of some 2x4 legs. See, this is the hardest part by far with these angled pieces. I had the carpenters cut these. I didn't cut these myself. I can't like my fingers too much. I'm going to go ahead and join these with pocket screws. It's important to make sure you kind of do a mock fit. This jig is pretty handy. It's a little expensive, but it's worth the accuracy you get. And it's pretty simple. You just put it in here. Pull the handle. Off you go. This is a special drill bit that lets you put a pocket screw in. This little jig makes it a lot more efficient, quick with your pocket hole drill. I was gonna put 5 in, but I decided to put 3. I'm running low on screws. I'll put some 2.5-inch screws in just for good measure as well. Okay, so that's about that. The thing about this pocket hole is it's pretty dirty and dusty too. Craig also sells this special clamp that you can use. Where's that piece? I'm just gonna edit a bunch of shit out, you know.
Hello, Kuwait.
For the bottom of these cabinets, I went with a 52 centimeter by 52 centimeter, 15 centimeters. I'm not going to convert it to inches.
You guys convert it.
And then these are angled. This is 52 centimeters here. This is, I think, 75, 76, and then this is 85. And so mixers and rat gear will angle up.
How's the N95 treating you?
Okay, babe. This is always tricky to get the first. Once you get one in.
That's what she said.
You notice I'm not even gluing these together. I don't bother. It's pretty strong once you get the multiple screws in. Clamp goes on like this. Pretty tricky. Okay. Ooh. Just make sure that we're level here. Looks pretty good. Use these special screws and this other special drill bit to drive it. So that clamp holds the piece in place. And just hit it with one of these. Let me back off the direction of the drill. Never get these perfect. Take that long to put these together.
I'm sweating my balls.
Okay, that's enough. You filmed how I did one side. Why don't you just pause it and come back later? I'll finish putting the cabinets together, and then I'll come get you, okay?
Yeah, if I'm passed out, don't bother. Love you.
Okay, well, we're making progress here. These angled cabinets are starting to come together. Just show you the construction I use. You see there's the pocket screws coming from the outside to the inside, and then I stiffened it up on the bottom there. As you can see, I have some extra 2.5-inch screws, so those screws are about that long, so it's pretty damn strong. So these will form the footings of the desk. Still have to put these cross members right in here and give it some extra support and create little shelves. And then in between here, we'll have this table. This will be the piece that goes. It's so hot here. Wait. That'll be the in-between piece. So that'll go right there. And then have one of those boards will be the pull out on the drawers. We got some 40 centimeter sliders. So that will be the pull out. And then the little bench for the pedal board, I've got the legs pretty well constructed. These will be the footings for the little bench that the laptop will sit on. I'll show you how I did that. More pocket screws. I didn't laminate. You're supposed to glue these, then screw them. I'm just lazy. I don't like working with glue. And when you put that many screws, it's not necessary. So I took 2 pieces and made them into one kind of thick piece. And then I took these pocket screws from this perpendicular member, and now that's in there real firm. Didn't bother with the 2.5-inch screws. It's firm enough with just the pocket screws on these. So those will be the footings, and then in between them will be this guy that I did a similar process with. Didn't bother gluing it, just screwed. As you can see, these are 1.25-inch screws to put the 2 pieces of plywood together. So this double thick plywood will go on the very bottom and be flush with this surface and pull out. This has yet to be done, but these are the little angle pieces for the holding the little digital mixer setup. This was the weirdest thing to design. Pain. That and that were the tough cuts for the carpet. I had to actually drive all the way back to the guy because he got them wrong, and these were really hard to do. I would recommend entrusting a professional to do this if you plan to build this kind of thing yourself. It's hot here in Coimbra, it gets wet, so hopefully we'll build some more and I'll show you what else is going on as the project progresses. Well, we're finally getting somewhere. Whew, a lot of work. So I got these shelves in. I don't know if you can see it, but I have pocket holes under, just 2. If I wanted to change these later, I could just take the pocket holes out and change the height. The computer will be here. So this shelf is a little higher. All the rack gear will be in there. And then, that thing is downstairs. But and then here is the slide out. So it's pretty coming along pretty nicely. This is the bench for the pedal board. I have one problem. This thing sticks, so I'm gonna have to raise it up in order to be able to pull this shelf out. Maybe I'll put some like rubber matting under these feet just to elevate it ever so slightly like that. But I think, yeah, I see why it sticks. So that's the bench, and that's the main event. Whew. I'm all sweaty, it's hot. So one other thing about this desk that's great is that it's modular, so what's left to do is to put edge banding all along these plywood edges and iron that on, and then I'm gonna sand it all down, paint it down. That's the real hard work. But like I was saying, it's modular. What's cool is I'm gonna fill in all these screw holes like here and here once it's done, but at the very end I'm not going to fill these holes in here because these are what's attaching this tabletop to these cabinets. So, and then the other side, same thing. I'm going to leave these screws exposed, and I'll paint over them, but it'll be such that I can basically remove the screws later if I decide to change the layout of the tabletop, or I don't want this table, but I want to have the cabinets be modular, so I can move this cabinet over to this side and have them be separate. So that's one of the advantages of having this kind of desk, that it's modular and I can reuse it later, and if I want to change my design, I don't have to build a whole new desk. Well, I thought I'd give you guys a demo of how I put some of this stuff together. It's kind of hard to film while you're doing it. So this long drill bit lets it get down. And you want to make sure your drill speed isn't too high on your variable drill. And then that's it. And now that is pretty, I can move that with my hand, but that's still a pretty strong bond. So that's what I'm using for a lot of the structural components of these cabinets. I'll do that just to get the things sitting at perfect right angles, and then for extra strength, I'll add a 2.5-inch screw. I don't even bother pre-drilling. I can do it without splitting the wood. So I'll just put that there and just drive it in. And that's pretty stiff. And that's how I'm doing these cabinets here. The next thing I'll also do is I'll use an 1.25-inch screw if I need 2 pieces to go like that. If I need them to sit against each other. So these holes are already pre-drilled. Just to show you that you don't need to pre-drill, let me make a new one. No wood split. And I drive it a little below, okay? And the reason is because later we're gonna plaster that and fill it in and sand it off. The next step in the process is, you'll see I've edge banded all these. If you use plywood, you'll get this nasty looking edge. So what they do is you use edge banding. It's actually wood, it's actually maple. And then that gets ironed on, it has glue on this side. So let's show you how I do that. I take this is actually a double layer, so I'll do 2. Usually you're just doing a single layer like this. So I'll just take it a little over on each side. And I'll just break it off with my finger. And then I'm doing 4, so I'll break off 3 more pieces, just that length. This part is pretty tedious and time consuming. It's real easy to build these things. What takes a long time is edge banding, sanding, this part puttying. I'm just using a regular mud or drywall joint compound to fill in the screw holes and all the gaps and everything. I just line it up there, make sure it's going over on both sides, and just really boring. You just iron it on like that. Make sure you don't hit yourself with the iron. The thing is hot. Okay. And you just gotta go back over it a couple times. Make sure to get enough even pressure that the wood adheres to the glue on the thing. And then you take a block. This is what makes it nice. You just smooth it out. Get it, now it's too hot. Okay. So that's that part. Then the ends, I just do this. I just snap them off like that. Just to get them on a right angle. This part didn't, now see, this part didn't go all the way down, so put a little more heat on it. This is what makes your projects look nice and professional. Okay. So that's that. They sell special tools to take this off, but I found that this is quicker and cheaper, just a regular wood file. So what I'll do is I'll just, well, this one I can actually just clip like that, but I'll just come in here and file that thing off like that. And sometimes you just kind of come in and that's good. And now we have, now this is only half because I've got to do that, but you see that's a nice veneer, and when we come back and hit that with an electric sander, it'll look like a solid piece of wood. It won't look like plywood anymore. Let's say we have a regular screw. We don't want to see screws in our finished product. We want to eventually paint over it. And I don't really use stain. If you're going to use stains and things to show the natural quality of the wood, you might want to get some special plugs or special type of wood filler that matches the grain. But I just paint this with latex paint. So in that case, it doesn't matter what I fill it with. So I found that this is pretty cheap and effective. This drywall putty. This is the same thing you'd use to take 2 pieces of gypsum board or drywall. And I just put that on and let that dry off. I usually leave it overnight. And this stuff is cheap and effective. And once it is dry, it'll look like this. And then you just hit it with a sander and it looks great. It looks great. This is kind of what it will look like when you sand it.
You need a jumpsuit, babe.
Okay, babe. This will also work with your pocket hole screws. All you would do is just fill more putty in there. There's no screw in here, obviously, but it would work the same if there was a screw. That's all I do. I just put that in and then I wipe a layer off and see I missed a spot. You want to make sure to do that a couple times so that it all gets in there. Otherwise you got to do it twice. So now you see that there's a full layer, it's all sat in there, and then I just come back over it like that so that there's a little extra on top. Kind of like baking a cake. Wait for that to dry, come back, hit it with a sander. I'm gonna get that off for now because I don't care about this piece. This is just a scrap piece. That's the next step in the process. We're making progress on these desks. See, we got them upside down. These are the two, oh God, I stepped on that.
Don't put it on the ground, man. I didn't see it.
So we're coming along. The next, we got this cabinet here. You can see I got them all edge banded. I got them all plastered up. I took everything apart, all the shelves and drawers and sliders. This is the little custom little unit for the mixer, digital mixer thingy.
Fancy.
Yeah. This will be the tabletop with the pull out underneath. So that'll be the tabletop that goes in between those two. And that's what we're working on here is the bench for the pedal boards. So we're making progress, man. Gonna have to do some heavy sanding.